What's going on, everybody? This is Stubbs from Retro Handhelds. Happy holidays. I want to bring to you today my picks for handhelds to buy in 2022. This will be a little bit less technical and a little more gut feeling. Again, these are my top picks, not Retro Handhelds as a whole. Mainly, we're going to be looking at the price to performance ratio and which bring the most value. But before we get started, if you are enjoying the content and the videos that we're making here, please go ahead and drop us a like and subscribe if you would. And without further ado, let's dive into it. So, sitting at number 11, we have the AYANEO Air. And this is the AYANEO Air Lite, okay? So this one is a little bit cheaper. I believe it's even on sale right now for $500. I got this one off of their Indiegogo, and I've really enjoyed it. Like, this has been probably my favorite all-around handheld for just playing Windows games, for playing Steam games, and having that sleek, beautiful OLED screen. The plastic feels great. I love the Hall sensor sticks on this and L2, R2. I love that it has a fingerprint reader up top. And look at these fun LEDs that light up. So I adore the AYANEO Air. The reason why it's number 11 on the list is that although it is awesome in all ways and it sports fast specs, the reason why it's number 11 and not higher up in the list is because the battery life is atrocious, coming in at around an hour, sometimes less if you want to play some of those AAA games. If you really want to play just indies and you crank that TDP wattage down for maybe Cuphead, yeah, you can get an hour and a half out of this. But yeah, the AYANEO Air is just one that I have adored otherwise. Like I've been telling people, it's the perfect handheld that I never ever use. Yeah, face buttons feel really good. So premium on this, so premium. And the D-pad is just like butter. And the joysticks, the travel is so good. Everything about this screams premium, screams quality. I even love the gradient, and I love that they match the gradient on the case that you can get with it too. So this is just fun. I do want to say as well that you can get the Pro model for a bit more money, which is going to give you a bit better battery life. Not a lot, but a bit, so do consider that. I hope to make some more content on this in time. Right now, I just really enjoy playing it from time to time. Next on the list, at number 10, we have the Logitech G Cloud. This is Logitech's first foray into this sort of handheld. This is an Android handheld running a Snapdragon processor. Not as powerful as the Odin Pro. This is going to be able to play up to some PS2, GameCube, even some Nintendo Switch. So this thing is cool. I don't love the face buttons on it or the D-pad. The joysticks are pretty serviceable. L1, R1, L2, R2 definitely work. This is advertised as a cloud streaming console. However, with the Wi-Fi inside of it, I have not found this to be great for cloud streaming for my purposes, but I have used it extensively for Android gaming and also for running emulation. So this is a great all-around emulation handheld. It's nice and comfy in the hands, especially if you have bigger hands. It has those nice backs there. But this one has just been a good all-around handheld, coming in at around $300 when it's on sale, which it is right now, and links in the description. $300 and under, I can recommend it. When it's over $300, it doesn't quite have the processing power that I wish that it had, and I'd probably recommend stepping up to something like an Odin base in that price range. Initially, I didn't love it, but it's grown on me over time, especially just for the form factor and the feel. It's an easy handle to pick up. The battery life lasts forever. I love that about it. It's just a great Android handheld, although again, for streaming, not my favorite. Next up, we got 353M from Anbernic. Take everything you love with that RK3566 chipset from the V, from the P, from the RG503, and put it into a metal shell, an aluminum shell with Hall sensor sticks that are awesome. All in the form factor size of the 351 MP. Yeah, it has inline shoulders, but man, look how thin that is. Yeah, I have loved this one. I've been waiting to customize it and load on Black Seraph's new Lineage OS on here to test it out. But this one is another one that runs Android as well as Linux, so it's great having multiple options for whatever you want to do with it. But yeah, this is going to play up to, Dreamcast and 64, a little bit of PS2 and GameCube, but I wouldn't hold out hope for too much of that working. But this is just all around so solid. It's kind of the perfect size. Again, these Hall sticks are beautiful. This is the purple model. I do recommend this. Battery life comes in at 3,500 milliamp hours. That'll last you 4 to 5 hours, no issue. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. It's a good deal coming in at around the $140, $150 price point, and this is a good one for Christmas. It's easy to find on Amazon. Yeah, great D-pad, classic mushy Anbernic D-pad, great Anbernic face buttons, joysticks great, shoulders not so great. The reason why this isn't up higher on the list is, for me, I don't prefer the metal handhelds. Sometimes they tend to get warm, they can be heavy, they can injure children. You just got to be careful with the metal handhelds, and it's so premium feeling that I get afraid of putting it in my pocket when I'm carrying it around. So this is one that I want to start bringing out with me more. Price to performance ratio, this is going to be awesome. Up next, you all know this one. Coming in with the custom case from Yume Retro. Love those coffin case. We have the blue Miyoo Mini. Battery life lasts forever on these little guys. They've been very, very popular this year. You can customize them up to wazoo, go through retrogame.evo, Yume Retro for cases. You got awesome OS options in Onion OS and MIUI. I love the clear, transparent blue. It's just so cute. It's just so good. It's a good gift for kids. It's a good gift for adults. This is an all-around awesome handheld. It does not have Wi-Fi, though, so you're not going to get your retro achievements. You're not going to be updating firmware over the air. You're going to be doing that through the SD card. Power button up top. It has inline shoulder buttons. There are custom shoulder buttons that will make this more sticking out. It's called the Better Shoulder mod. Check that out on Etsy. But yeah, I mean, Sakura Retro Modding, retrogame.evo, there are so many mods, from buttons to skins to just everything. Now, it is tiny, so it's small, and for my hands, they do cramp up after a little while. So while it's cute and it's fun, it's not often the one that I gravitate towards, just because it's a little small. I like having something just a little bit bigger than this for carrying around. But again, this is going to be great for everything up into PS1. So anything from Atari, NES, up through Super Nintendo, up through Game Boy Advance, up through PS1. It's not going to do N64 or anything like that. No Dreamcast, but this is so super solid. There's a reason why it's sold out all the time. Be sure to check for drops at around 4 in the morning if you're on the West Coast, and follow the description in our link, of course, and check that, because this is an awesome buy with price to performance coming in at the $50 to $60 price range if you can find it at retail price. Again, the drops are nearly daily, but they sell out within minutes, so just you got to be on the jump on that one. Find it in our marketplace used. You could check Amazon and eBay, but those are pretty upsold. You really should be finding this for under $100 ideally. The Miyoo Mini is just, you just cannot go wrong. Such a good handheld, such a good handheld. And it's so cute. Well, speaking of minis, we have the new one on the block, the Anbernic RG35XX. Now, this is Anbernic's answer to the Miyoo Mini. They've added bump outs on the shoulders. They've kept the D-pad and face buttons very similar, with very similar action and travel to the Mini. However, you can see it's a little bit bigger there, so it's not going to be that mini. In fact, it's going to be more similar to the RG300 if you ever had that one, but to my hands, this is more comfortable and ergonomic. This will play a little bit more PS1 at a faster speed. The CPU is slightly faster, and it does have a GPU in there, so that does help it out for playing PS1. I'm even having hopes of getting a custom version of Mario 64, like the Mario 64 OPK running on here. This does not have custom firmware yet, and there is no word if we're getting open source on this one yet. Nothing's confirmed. We have asked, but as it stands, as of today, this would be higher up on my list if it were for the fact that custom firmware was for sure on the way. Right now, all we know are rumors. Black Seraph is working on a Lineage build. We have a team who started up development on a Linux custom firmware, and then that maybe is a skin on top of this one. So yeah, this feels and plays very similar to the Miyoo Mini, just everything's just a tiny bit bigger. But I have been really enjoying it since my review, and I've been playing the heck out of it. This is the one I've been carrying around town. It slips easy in the pocket. it actually is available for the most part, although I hear a few of the models are sold out, so check back. The DMG I know is in stock as of now, but the purple apparently has been selling out, and there's a clear purple variant, and there's also a clear white variant, so transparent white. So just check back. My favorite is the DMG. This will play everything again up into PS1. Real simple. Again, no Wi-Fi in this, just like the Miyoo Mini. Has a long battery life, coming in at around 5 hours, and it goes head-to-head with the Mini on nearly all levels. It's just, again, a little bit bigger. So you have to decide what form factor do you prefer. The Miyoo Mini already has mods and awesome operating systems out for it. This is brand new. I think it will get there in time. I think we will get custom firmware for it, and will maximize the potential. As of right now, this is still a great buy because it's in that impulse range of $50 to $60. Now there is an added cost of shipping, which is an extra $10 to $12, depending where you live. That may be more. It also is off of its promo sale now, so it's gone up by a few bucks. So just check back on that. This is still under 70 bucks. Such a good recommend. I've been enjoying it. Next up on our list, coming in at number 6, we have the TrimUI Smart from TrimUI. Now, I had the A66 and Model S, same thing, for a little bit. It was okay. I liked it, but something about this one. This is a bit faster. It plays great PS1, and it has Wi-Fi, so you can finally get the opportunity to get retro achievements. We have some custom firmware already out, such as Tomato OS, and I can't wait to dive more into this. This is one I still need to make more content on and put out some impressions, but you're getting some fresh impressions here. I love the D-pad. It's clicky. It reminds me of a Retroid Pocket 3 D-pad. The face buttons are dome switch style, so they're clicky as well, which is satisfying. L1, R1. There is no L2, R2, which is the drawback of this one. Otherwise, I'd probably bump this one up a bit more in the list. I love the feel of the plastic. This yellow model is great. I have a lavender one on the way as well because I just love the color on this. USB-C charging, power button up top. The only thing I don't like about this as well is the screen is more of a TFT style. The screen is not top tier in my mind, but it will play up to PS1, and having Wi-Fi again helps, so you do get updates on this. Yeah, battery life lasts. It's adorable. I like it. Look how thin it is. And price to performance on TrimUI Smart is coming in at around 80 bucks right now. I've seen it as low as $60 on AliExpress, so watch out for deals. But keepretro.com is a place you can get it. You can also get it on Amazon. So I got this one on Amazon for around 80 bucks as well. So just realize the Amazon is doing better price-wise on some of these handhelds. Yeah. It's fun. Coming in next, we have the RG353V and VS. So this one specifically is the VS. I have a purple V as well, but price to performance on the VS, especially under 100 bucks. Wow, it is good. It's that 3566 chipset, and you have the classic Anbernic face buttons, D-pad. I prefer this to the 35XX. Not only do you have dual shock if you're playing Ape Escape or something like that, but you get a little bit more room down here, so it's a little more comfortable for my hands to grip, as well as more power. So you're going to be playing N64, you're going to be playing Dreamcast, PSP, no issue. You're going to be even playing, if you step up to the V, which has more RAM, you're going to be playing some Nintendo DS, no issue. This one has a touchscreen when you're on the V. The VS, I do not believe so. But the V will have Android as well, so you get dual OS options, which is really cool. Same as the 353M. You can load Lineage from Black Seraph on this. You can load ArcOS. You can load all those custom firmwares that are being developed for this. Jealous. So there's just so much you can do with this. This is probably my favorite all-around vertical handheld in the last few years. I like it more than the 351V. I like it a little more than the 35XX. I mean, this is probably one I've spent the most time with. It's just... And this is, again, I'm spending the time with the VS because the VS, not only does it have this DMG color, which is a lot of fun, it's just easy to pick up and play. You can boot it straight up into Linux. Battery life on this one is going to be coming in at 3200 milliamp hours, so a little bit less than the M. Not really something I noticed. This does, of course, have Wi-Fi, just like the M, as well as you have on the new 353 line, you have Anbernics, so for Android. So you're not going to have it on this one. Again, this is the VS, but check that out. It's a very basic front end. I recommend something like, if you're going with Android, I recommend something like Daigisho or Reset Collection or even Launchbox. Here we have my favorite imperfect handheld of the candy bars this year. So coming in at number 4, we have the Anbernic RG505. This was their take on the classic T618 chipset, which will go head to head with the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus and the Powkiddy X18S clamshell and X18S Ultra. This one is interesting. So not only does it have an OLED touchscreen, it has Android on it. It has that classic mushy D-pad, face buttons, inline shoulders. At least there's a bump out more on the top, which is nice. Rubber nips, all that good stuff. This one comes in this cute teal color, and I'm totally excited to make a solo Jazz Cup theme for it. RetroGame.evo is working on one. So this one, I'm excited for the modding potential. It has a Vita screen, which is nice. The resolution's a little bit lower than I'd like it to be, but again, you know you're going to get that with the Vita screen. Unfortunately, this is really imperfect because these sticks are a little bit far down, so they can become a little bit uncomfortable. Not only that, there have been a lot of drama surrounding these sticks. The Hall sticks are not as good as in the 353M, so they are also reporting weird issues as far as snapping to the 8 cardinal directions. And so there's an update out now that will improve that by about 50%, but the issue is still present. For me and my testing purposes, I really haven't noticed many playability issues with it. Sneaking around in Metal Gear Solid or something you're going to notice, but for me, especially with the D-pad up top, I'm using this to play mostly D-pad focused platformers and the like, and so for me, I've been enjoying it mainly because the size has been really nice and comfy, and the screen, the blacks on the OLED screen have been gorgeous. And this one's powerful enough, again, to play more and more Nintendo Switch than I thought every day as Skyline is getting updated on Android. It's playing PS2, much more PS2 than like the T310 line, much more PS2 than anything the 33566 line can touch, which is pretty much minimal to nothing anyways. But it's also doing Wii, doing GameCube. This is a good all-around mid-tier handheld. Not as good as the Odin or the Odin Lite, but I've been enjoying it. And the 505 you can pick up, of course, from AliExpress, Amazon, Anbernic.com, wherever you want. Price to performance is very good on this. This is coming in around $160, all the way up to $180, depending on where you find it. But anywhere under $190, $180, I call this a pretty good buy. Okay, coming in at number 3. We have the Retroid Pocket 3 and Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. Now, the RP3 Plus is one that's been a long time coming, but let me tell you. So this has the T618, the same as the RG505, but in such a good form factor with stacked shoulders, very good feeling L2R2, so good. Beautiful colorways. You know, in this one you have this clear Baja Blue. You also have a purple option and all the classic RP3 colors. This has awesome clicky D-pad with great play and travel. Colorful face buttons on this one that are not painted on, by the way, as far as I can tell. These are just molded in that color, and that is really cool. I didn't like the multicolored on the RP2 Plus so much because they were painted on. They would get stuck. This time it looks like they've just made the button themselves this color, so you don't have paint chipping off, so it feels really good. These by default are rubber, conductive rubber buttons. You can swap those out for the dome style ones if you want. There's DIY kits on Retroid's website. Clicky D-pad, which I prefer. So this is my perfect combo. Non-Hall sticks on the joysticks, but I haven't noticed any stick drift, and you shouldn't really see any issues on these. Very comfortable handheld. Beautiful screen coming from an iPhone 6 rumored. You have that T618, so it's going to play everything the 505 and X18S can do, but in such a good form factor. And Retroid, it holds your hand a bit more. So you boot it up, it takes you through the wizard. You can install all the apps and emulators you want. There's a Android front end in here made by Retroid. This doesn't have Linux on it, Android only, but you really don't need Linux because Android is so well done in here. The stock ROM is very, very good on this. Very good. Retroid has always made an excellent stock ROM in my experience, and this is no exception. This is everything the RP3 is, but better. So take the RP3's performance, this is better. Take the RP3's choice for the face buttons. In my opinion, conductive rubber is better. Dome switch styles on the RP3 has held me back from using it so much because it's just, for me, I don't like the feel. I really like this. I don't have to mod it myself. And I love clicky D-pads over having a mushy D-pad more and more as time goes on since the Odin spoiled me. So this is my ideal setup for a Retroid product. This is my favorite Retroid product to date. Better than the RP2, better than the RP2 Plus, of course better than the RP1, and it's better than the RP3. But they're so neck and neck, the RP3 and RP3 Plus, that I really put them in the same category. The RP3 is going to save you money. It's just going to do a little bit less GameCube and PS2 performance, a little bit less Skyline Edge performance. You're going to save money. Coming in $100, $110, and $120 depending. And of course, the 3 Plus driving all the way up to the $150, $160, $170 price range, all the way up to $200, and on reseller sites, even more. So this will come at a premium, but it's a beautiful premium. Plastic's great. Feels good, not glossy, doesn't get smudgy, fast, doesn't get too hot. Probably the second best Android handheld of the year. Let's talk about the very best Android handheld of the year, shall we? Oh yeah, you can get this from Retroid's website, Amazon, or AliExpress. Links in the description as usual. All right, coming in at number 2, the Odin. So here is the Odin from AYN. This particular model is the version 1 screen of the Odin Lite, which is my favorite combination coming in, and then the cold gray colorway. This has that same D-pad as the RP3 Plus. Face buttons are conductive rubber and they feel great. Joysticks feel good, although they feel the same as the 3 Plus, but I always wish on the Odin, because it's so much bigger, is that these were just a little bit bigger and bumped out. It's great to replace these with Hall sticks. You can put Ghoulie sticks in here. You could put the RG353M sticks in here, I do believe, which you can buy from Anbernic separately, into mini handhelds that take that form factor, or that take Nintendo Switch style joysticks. This has an awesome screen coming in at 6 inches. This thing is the fastest, best price to performance ratio you're going to get in Android by far, bar none. I mean, you're getting a fan profile in here. You can overclock this bad boy. It has analog shoulder buttons, L2, R2, depending on what version you get, just a beautiful screen, especially these V1 lights. You also have the AYN Odin base, which is going to be more powered. So this has a Dimensity D900 chip in it. The Odin base will be a little bit more money, but it will have that Snapdragon 845 in it that has been overclocked. And if you want to go for the big boy, go home, go broke, go for the Odin Pro. The Odin Pro has everything covered. It is the best performing Android device this year. Honorable mention to the GPD XP and XP Plus, which technically are the most powerful, although it is so wide and the software is a mess in my mind, not usable. And I really wish I could bump that one up into this list, but it just doesn't make it. So this is the ultimate Android handheld of the year in my mind. You get the extra M1, M2 buttons. It has beautiful LED lighting. The Odin Lite's going to have longer battery life, but I mean, all the Odin lines, the Odin Lite, the Pro, the base, all of them have great long-lasting battery life. This is the handheld to beat. All the other companies should listen and say, hey, what is AYN doing in their Android space? This is so well done from start to finish in leading you and guiding you through setting up your handheld, in performance, in battery life, in screen quality, speakers, customization options. I mean, you can put windows on the Pro and the base. Yeah, and the pricing for this, depending where you get it, if you get it direct from Retroid, or if you can get it direct from AYN, the Odin Lite, you should be able to get it under $300. The base, you're going to be looking at in the $300 price range, and the Pro probably over $400 depending on the deal that you get. But you're going to see these on eBay going all the way up to $800. So just be wary. I would not buy this on eBay or Amazon. I would always buy it from AYN directly when possible, or secondhand, maybe on a Discord marketplace. We have these pop up fairly often. So yeah, I mean, this is the beast. This will do it all. Throw your front end on. It'll pretty much play anything you throw at it that's available for Android. Skyline, awesome PS2, awesome GameCube, both the Lite, the Pro, and the base. So those CPUs run head to head. I don't understand why the Lite's such a good value. And if you got this at the early bird pricing when they had this back on Indiegogo, man, you would have gotten a good deal. So it's still a good deal. It has light up rings, which is fun. Let's turn that on. It has a front end, which is very usable. similar to Retroid. It's just so pretty and it makes me happy. This also comes with a number of accessories. This has a dock. This has a clear shell case. This has carry case, which I should show that now. So here's the one for the Odin. I love that they're making these branded specific carrying cases. This has been great at holding the Odin, keeping it safe on all my trips in the last year. I don't even really talk about this one much because I just enjoy playing on it so much. So good, so good. But that leaves us one spot, the number one handheld to buy in 2022. This is one I've never showed off on the channel. You can probably already guess. That's right, it's gonna be the Steam Deck. Comes with its own microfiber cloth. Made by Valve in 2021. This is now openly for sale in 2022. So you can actually buy this from Valve as of the time of this video directly, no wait time and no reserve, and just have it. Valve has been doing awesome things on hardware lately, from the Valve Index to the Steam controller. A few missteps along the way, but they eventually landed at making the best price to performance handheld ever, with the most power at the best value. So if you were to get the $400 base price Steam Deck, which this is the 512, but if you got the 4, you can just swap out the hard drive in it, throw on a screen protector, and you have the top end. So this is the big boy. This is the $600 one with the etched glass. I threw a terabyte SD card in when it was on sale on Black Friday. What do I say about the Steam Deck that people don't already know? There's really not much to say. This is the king. This has that RDNA 2. It's freaking huge. That 7-inch screen. Fast processor, just the fastest. It's gonna run Windows if you want. Screen's gorgeous. Doesn't have glare. This is an awesome one to take with you on trips, to play outside because of this screen. On this version of it. This has SteamOS, which is just a very nice and easy to use front end. You got all your Steam games on here ready to go. Not only is this awesome for Steam gaming and playing up to Elden Ring on this, I mean, this thing will do it all with this haptic touchpads. You can upgrade the joysticks, which are good, for GuliKit Hall sticks if you want, which I have. I just need to put in. The D-pad is no frills, just super solid. The face buttons are very smartly put in the very top right, so ergonomics was first in Gabe Newell's mind, it seems like, when designing this, because these face buttons are great. L1, R1's fantastic, L2, R2, analog and amazing quality, fantastic ventilation, and you have 4 extra buttons on the back, besting the Odin there. This has a number of dock options. You can, of course, hook this up and dock it to an external monitor. Just so comfortable. There's so many mods out, so many accessories for the Steam Deck. The fastest growing handheld ever, with the fastest growing subreddit, Discord communities. I mean, do you know RH has a Steam Deck Discord? That's right, we have our own dedicated Steam Deck Discord, which we don't advertise a lot, but it's on there because we were so hyped on this handheld. Now, some would say this isn't a retro handheld, but that's not true, because not only does this do awesome Windows gaming, this does everything for emulation. You can load on EmuDeck on here, and it plays everything from Atari well up into Nintendo Switch. This is a better Nintendo Switch at a better price to performance ratio with an awesome screen. The only downside of the Steam Deck, the fact that you're running x86, so you're going to be looking at a shorter battery life, but this still bests handhelds such as the Win600, such as the AYANEO Air, such as so many other x86 handhelds that have come out in the last few years. This has better battery life than most of them. You can really crank that TDP down, especially for me who plays mostly indie platformers with Windows. I crank that TDP down to around 5 watts, and you can change the refresh rate down to 40 from 60 and then run games at that frame rate limit as well. And that's going to get you possibly 5 hours of use out of this, which is ridiculous. It's an insane value. It's wild what we have here in 2022. Going into 2023, I still think the Steam Deck is going to be the king until there's a Steam Deck 2. We're going to see what AYN has with their AYN Loki, which next year we may be showing that as one of the top handhelds. We just need it to be made. The RP4, which I'm sure will be on the way at some point. It's an exciting time for handhelds. We cannot wait to see what comes next. Android handhelds are blowing up right now. Windows handhelds are huge, going from 1X Player to GPD and the Win 4, looking forward to that one, to other unknowns such as Pimax, who's making an Android handheld that's also a VR headset, and the Pimax Portal. And I can't wait to see what Pimax brings to the table. Thor and I are headed to CES in January. We're going to check out a bunch of stuff while we're at CES, make you guys some videos, but we can't wait to try out the Portal, as well as other contenders in the mid-range Android space we're looking forward to is going to be the KTR-1. The KTR-1 has had a storied history, and getting out the door has proven difficult by the dev, but we are in the realm of getting review units out. ETA had one, Fox had one, and we actually have a RH review unit of the KTR-1 that is shipping out very shortly here, so we're going to take a look at that. We're excited for that. And then for the Linux side, we are looking forward to seeing what TrimUI will bring next. We're looking forward to what Anbernic will bring next. We're looking forward to what Retroid and what Powkiddy has. They have a x86 handheld, as well as a X28 handheld, which we have heard rumors of with nothing new. Miyoo Mini, of course, is coming up with the horizontal version of the Miyoo Mini. P60, which has been a myth for a long time, may reveal itself in 2023, so we'll see. That'll play GameCube, and that'll be pretty awesome for Android. But this has been an exhaustive list of my top 11 best priced performance handhelds to buy in 2022. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments, which handheld are you excited for? Are you going to pick any of these up? Are you going to hold out and see what 2023 brings? Join us in our Discord. Join us for our live stream on New Year's Eve, where we're going to be joined by Russ from Retro Game Core and give away a bunch of handhelds. But beyond that, please do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content. Once again, this has been Stubbs with Retro Handhelds. Take care of your handhelds, everybody, and take care of each other.